IFBB Pro Danielle Willis. Thank you so much for doing this. I know your time is so valuable. A couple weeks ago, you won overall in bodybuilding. What's it like being called an IFBB Pro?
It's so surreal being called an IFBB Pro. And it's one of those things where, I mean, we all have big dreams and goals in life. And I'm a big believer in affirmations and what you put out into the universe and project is what you get back. But nothing can truly prepare you for once, it actually happens and it's actually, it's like actually unfolding in front of your eyes. It's mind blowing to me. And, for a moment there before I actually won, I'm not going to lie, I had my doubts because this was a tough competition. There were over 1,300 competitors. I mean, I went from USA's in Vegas in July with only 9 women in women's physique in my height to going to a category of 21. And bodybuilding, there were only maybe 5 women in Vegas, and in Pittsburgh, there were over 35. And there were some women that I looked at and I went, I have to beat you? Okay, all right. Because truth be told, Chris, I went in with my intentions of getting my pro card. However, bodybuilding was actually one of those things where I went, okay, I placed 3rd in USA's. So we're still not too sure where they like me, where they're filling me. And this is kind of a chance to see where I'll get the most love, where I'll fit in. And, I wasn't expecting this at all. And but it did answer a lot of questions for me. So I'm really fired up and excited now for the future.
Is women's bodybuilding making a comeback?
It is. I believe it is. It's one of those things where, I mean, we all have seen it before. The Pumping Iron 2 days, Linda Murray, Diane Dennis, like all the legends. It's been done before, and it's been done amazingly well. But I feel like over the years, things have changed, and what the essence of that era has been lost, in my humble opinion. And I feel that there are a few young ladies that are current pros that I've been looking at, and I'm going, okay, all right. I see that. I see a trend. And I think that people are starting to kind of clamor for that old feeling that's missing. And no disrespect to the current ladies in the game at all whatsoever. I respect and admire everyone, but I just feel personally for me, and what really inspires and fires me up is that old school era. And if I can be a part of that, I guess revival, or if you will, it would be an honor.
You work out at the Mecca a lot in Venice?
I do. I do work out at the Mecca in Venice. It is not my home gym. I actually train out of 2 local gyms in the area. But I do get to the Mecca when I can. So I mean, who wouldn't want to go?
Yeah, I guess I was just asking that question because I'm just jealous. I'm over here in Dallas.
It's inspiring, and you know what? I'm not even going to lie. I went last weekend with my coach, and it gave me chills, like walking through there, because I go when I get a chance to go, and you have these conversations with IFBB pros in there, and legends come in there, and through him I've met some really good people, and some really humble pros, and to be able to now walk in as a pro, and having and some of the pros seeing me now, and just it just was like, it felt so good. Like, it was so cool. It was just like, I felt like it was like, your first day of school, you're just all excited, just yay, get to meet all the people that you're in the class with. And now it's like, I'm excited. I'm in.
You've done 2 national shows this year, Vegas and Pittsburgh. What are some challenges that come up when doing 2 national shows in 1 year?
Well, first of all, a little bit about me. I've only been training for 2 years. And I've only done one show before I decided to do nationals. So this was uncharted territory for me. I had no idea, how it was done. No clue about my body and different and how it would react to the prep and the stress and the different things. Nothing prepared me for it. But all I can say is that I I endured and I pushed through because a week before Pittsburgh, I I felt like I was like, oh, we're so close. But when your body is like, fighting against you, and different things are starting to feel like they're I guess for lack of better words, it was kind of like you get your your uh your true grit is tested. It's tested. And not only was I tested uh physically, but mentally, because you figure I went into one show and missed my pro card by one. So I had to stand there and take that and process it and go through all the things that I needed to go through. And that was difficult, but humbling. And I feel like I needed to go through it because in turn, it made me, it fired me up to push myself harder. And then that's when I got, Chris Cormier, blessing. He cleaned me up and we went to work on my posing, on my presentation, on everything. I wanted to make sure that, because I believe personally, yes, physique plays a big part in your placing, but how you present it is paramount. And being a new competitor, still learning how everything works, I feel like my posing was a hybrid and it wasn't correct to what it should be for Vegas. And I feel like all of those things come into play when they are picking who's going to get their pro card. And so I had to, again, go through all of those things, process it, and go, you want your pro card bad enough. So here's your chance. Here's your, do or don't moment. And literally, I would say 2 days later, I paid for Pittsburgh and said, we're doing it. And I was like, and I'm doing bodybuilding and women's physique because there's no way I'm coming back without it. And that was my intention, and that was my mindset, and that was that was everything going into it. And like I said, I got with Chris. I hit my posing. We went extra hard on the back days. We went extra hard on the leg days. Just trying to do every single thing possible in a month, and it was stressful. But I wanted it bad enough. I wanted it. And, I know I'm not the youngest. I know I can't claim these certain things, but it feels pretty damn good to say, hey, in 9 months, I went pro. And I did it on my terms. And I did it knowing that I was pushed to the limit. And I was pushed to as far as I could go. And that it wasn't handed to me easily. I had to work for it. And so, yeah.
That's very inspiring. Congratulations. It's completely awesome. You mentioned Chris supporting you. Other people that you want to thank, makeup, suit, that type of thing?
My number one that I would love to thank is my coach, David Ellis. I owe everything to him. I mean, he's and I love my coach because he's been in the business over 35 years. I'm his 20th pro. but he's one of those that's humble. He's for his athletes. He is very personable and makes sure that he gets to know each and every one of us and takes into consideration all of our health issues, everything. And I am really sensitive, and we realized in Vegas how sensitive my body was to, you know, the pre-contest, you know, the water pills and everything like that, you know, having the cramps and all those different things. And it felt so good to have somebody there, you know, that wasn't there just invested in their own goals and needs, and actually took a step back and went, oh, okay, you're a different case. Let me make sure that I tailor everything according to you and your health and how you react. And that in turn helped me in Pittsburgh. So I was able to not have the same complications and the same issues. And I was able to go on stage and be able to present myself in a way that was able to help me win the overall. And I'm I'm so grateful to him as well for opening the doors that he's opened for me. And you know, we're a team. It's just the two of us. He's got one other competitor, and then he's done. He's been doing this for a long time, but you know, it feels good when you have somebody that's invested in you, and that you can trust. And yeah, like, he gets all the credit. I, you know,
Yeah, his 20th pro. That's really awesome. I want to read something to you that I read on your Instagram that kind of touched me. That was pretty awesome. It says,
okay.
you said, it's a beautiful thing when a woman embraces her power, proudly wearing her crown, but even better when she uses it to empower and build other women up. I thought that was special. Any queens that you can think of that you're empowering, or any queens that are empowering you right now?
Oh my goodness. Well, Miranda Mini Swole, she's another IFBB pro, and we actually competed together in Vegas, and she's awesome. Um, I also owe a lot to Claudia Guadino, and I want to give a shout out to her because she's my suit maker, and she's getting ready for the Olympia amateur and figure. And she's amazing. Not only does she take the time to make our suits, but uh, when I had a malfunction in Vegas, she was there to make sure that my suit was re-altered last minute to make sure that I didn't have that problem. And then in turn for this show, whipped up. I actually have to include this because it's sentimental to me. The suit that I wore for Pittsburgh was my overall suit that I wore when I won the Iron Games, the regional show. And because I was going into Pittsburgh with the idea of redemption, I was going into Pittsburgh with the idea of, you know, really, you know, reclaiming and, you know, coming for what I wanted. I felt that it was going to be more meaningful if I got my pro card in my overall suit. So she made a brand new top for me since she needed to make the alterations within like 2 weeks. And I got to compete in that suit and win again overall in my overall. So I think it's a beautiful thing. And I have to give Claudia a big shout out. She's awesome and amazing. I owe a lot to my mother. I have a really strong mother, and I credit a lot of who I am to having strong women in my life. And I would be remiss if I did not give credit to my strong, amazing, powerful mother. And it feels good to have supportive parents as well. My parents, you know, I did it for them, and it kind of broke my heart that I didn't get my pro card when they went and saw me in Vegas. And so it was it really also meant a lot to me to make sure that I came home and brought the trophy and gave them the thanks and the credit, because, you know, it's important to have supportive family in this sport, because it's a time consuming sport. It can come off as a selfish sport. And, when you don't get a chance to see your family and your friends like you want to, and you miss out on events and things like that, it's so important. And it means a lot, that you still have that. And I do have that.
That's beautiful. Next weekend is the Olympia. Are you going to head over there to Vegas and, expo and stuff like that?
I'm actually not headed to the Olympia this year. They're just scheduling conflicts and things. But I'm looking forward to seeing, who gets crowned the new, or reigning. We don't know. It'll be interesting to see Miss Olympia. And it'll be interesting to see, who keeps or reclaims or, claims the crown. I'll be watching definitely, but no, I will not be there in person this year.
I know this is probably way far off, but I thought I'd just ask it anyway.
Sure.
Pro debut, any thoughts at all now? Is it way too early? Like as far as picking a show?
I haven't picked a show. No, I have not picked a show.
Sometime next summer? Yeah.
Probably the beginning of next year. So, but it's going to be in bodybuilding. So I just have to see, I kind of have to see what's out there and what's available for me. So, I'm right now, the main goal and focus is just, improving my measurements and my, especially in my lats and legs and, and we were talking kind of, a little bit candidly about the possibility. This is a big if. If I like the way things are coming in another month and a half, just for fun, I might do something end of November, but other than that, it's probably looking like beginning of next year.
Well, that's cool.
So,
yeah. How about one more question for you? Someone might be watching this video and they're inspired by you with your motivation and your discipline. How does someone have good discipline, eating clean and working out? Maybe they're just first starting out, bodybuilding, stepping on stage where you guys are taking it to the extreme for someone who just wants to, live a healthier lifestyle. How does someone maintain discipline?
Keep it simple. Keep it simple, and repetition is key. I believe when we try to make things too complicated and, inundating and overloading ourselves with too many things to do, kind of, it can be daunting and overwhelming to a point where, you don't want to keep at it because the expectation is it's just too high. And so for me, I believe if you just set simple goals, simple attainable goals, and something that you can keep consistent, that to me is a tried and true formula for me. And I feel like I've gotten more accomplished in life in general, keeping things very simple and in this sport too, discipline and I wouldn't even say in this sport, just healthy, being healthy as a lifestyle. It just takes discipline. And if you are able to apply a little bit of discipline with a whole lot of repetition, you're going to get the results that you want.
That's perfect. Danielle, thank you so much. New IFBB Pro. I appreciate your time so much. I know it's so valuable, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you maybe sometime next year.
Awesome. I look forward to it, Chris.